Good morning, good evening, and welcome back to Warthunder. In this video, we're going to be driving and reviewing the premium rank 4 battle rating 6.3 Soviet medium tank, the T-34-100. With that out of the way, let's take the T-34-100 into battle. So, for the first game, we are on the map Kubana. We're going to take the tank to the right side of the map. Now, what is the T-34-100? The T-34-100 is a Soviet premium tank that you can buy for Golden Eagles. It's based on the T-34-85, but it has a 100mm gun installed instead of the 85mm that you're used to. Now, the 100mm gun offers some advantages, but it also comes with some disadvantages. Let's take the disadvantages first. You basically have no gun depression. It's even worse with this tank. You know, Soviet tanks never really have any gun depression, but this tank takes it to the extreme with only -3 degrees. So what you're used to is going to have to be increased quite a bit, since you basically can't play on anything but flat ground. The reload time also is significantly longer, with almost 11 seconds at a fully aced crew. Now, this is something you're going to have to play around if you want to be successful in the T-34-100. Now, what are the advantages when it comes to this new armament? Well, the big thing is that your penetration has gone up significantly compared to the previous armament. You have a bit over 200mm of penetration when it comes to this 100mm gun. For example, this means that you can go through the upper front plate of any Panther you're gonna be facing, which is a pretty nice thing to have, especially since you don't need to aim for the turret like you used to with the 85. You also have a increased muzzle velocity, so it will be easier to fight at longer ranges since you don't need to lead, and you don't need to aim above the tank as much as you would have with the 85. And the last thing is the potency of the gun. With a larger round comes more explosive filler, and with a larger gun comes the higher muzzle velocity. Both of them leads to an increase in lethality when it comes to this gun, but since the 85 is already very good at killing stuff, this is something you won't really notice. The big thing with this gun is the increased penetration. Now, everything else regarding this tank is pretty much the same. You will have the exact same chassis as you will on the T-34-85. You also have the same level of protection as you have on the T-34-85. The large difference is the armament. Speaking about mobility, you basically have the same amount. You weigh a bit more with the increased gun, but you won't really notice it. You have your 500 horsepower engine that will propel you up to a maximum speed of 45 kilometers per hour. So the mobility is basically the same. Now, is this tank worth purchasing? Well, I think it's a very good offer to have. You work really good in up-tiers with the better gun, so you can perform in up-tiers pretty effectively, and in down-tiers it just stomps everything you meet. But the one big upside to this thing that I think a lot of other premiums don't actually offer is that if you're a newer player, you will actually be used to the platform you are fighting on if you have played any other T-34s. And that is something that is very important, I feel, when you are purchasing a premium. You know pretty much how this thing will play out in game. There are a few differences, but mostly your playstyle will be the same in this as in the T-34-85, and that familiarity is something that I really much value when it comes to purchasing a premium, and I think you know what you're gonna get if you purchase this tank. So that is a very big upside to it. Now, you most likely will use this in a 6-7 lineup. You do have a 6.3 lineup, for example with the SU-100P, which is also a fantastic tank destroyer. But the main lineup you will see this used is in the 6-7 Soviet lineup. Now I can't tell you how to spend your money, but I hope this video will give you a glimpse into how this tank will perform in game. I do also want to take this time to thank each and every one of you who watches my videos, and especially those guys who choose to subscribe. We have finally hit our first goal of reaching 500 subscribers, and we're gonna aim for 1000 for the next goal. Now this channel uploaded its first video around 7 months ago, and then it just started. This was just a dream. I didn't expect this to work out this well. I didn't expect to upload many videos, but with your guys' support I have almost uploaded 100 videos. I think this will be the video number 100, and I just need to say a massive thank you to each and every one of you who chooses to watch my videos. And you don't know how much this means to me, and I will be forever thankful to each and every one of you who chooses to support me and watch me grow along in this journey. So thank you guys for this amazing moment, and let's continue striving for even higher goals. Now for some closing statements for this game. You have seen the effectiveness of the 100mm gun. We have been able to pretty much kill everything we face without any major struggles. But the one downside is of course the big reload and the poor elevation angles. That is something you're gonna have to get used to if you want to play this thing effectively, and that is also something you're gonna have to get used to when playing any Soviet tank. Most Soviet tanks have no reverse gear, which this doesn't have as well. You will have minimal gun depression, which this tank does have. You will often have a pretty lengthy reload, which this thing does have. So this will not only help you research the Soviet tech tree, it will also teach you how to play ground. It will teach you how to play most Soviet tanks. So I would recommend this premium if you want to grind the Soviet tech tree, but I can't really tell you how to play, can I? It's up to you, but you have my recommendations for this tank at least. With tank kills, what should have been 11, we managed to take first place in our team. We earned a total of 13,666 research points and 124,111 silver lions. For the second game, we are on the map Sands of Sinai. Spawning on the right side of the map, we're going to make our way into Bravo Point. Now here you can see the quite good mobility of the T-34-100. We're able to dash across this open area with a decent amount of speed. Now you will be seeing that I see multiple enemies crossing over to Alpha. Now I choose to stop and take the shot since I don't want them to be super many at Alpha, since it is quite a hard position to dislodge the enemy from, and I can see that the enemy doesn't have the range quite down yet, which I now do. Now I do take a hit shot, it felt like, to the side of the turret, since it didn't do very much damage and the damage is in a straight line. So we're just going to continue rushing over. As you can see, they still do not have the range down. We do become aware of the second enemy target we can be able to see. Now if you caught that, we did take a shot from Alpha, and Alpha had been captured, so we know that there is at least one tank over there. I do believe it was the T-92 light tank that went over there. Now we see a Swedish PBV 501 rushing over once again. Now it looked like our shell didn't even fuse, but we somehow managed to take the track out. So after this quite hefty reload with our loader now unconscious, we're going to peek forward and kill this PV. Now we see the next target, the one that captured Alpha. It's the 92. So we're gonna wait for a reload to pull up just slightly to get enough elevation to kill this man. And we're gonna do quite an easy shot into him. Now we have cleared out Alpha and our friendly teammate will be able to capture it. Now I immediately get on to replenish my crew to cut down on the reload, and we see a American T-29 just kinda staring at us. You can also catch a glimpse of that FV-405. So we are now going to try to reposition here to the rocks right in front of us. But just as we going to reposition, we hear a M19 just kind of shooting here. So we're gonna pull off so we get enough gun depression, and we're gonna track his machine gun, and when he shows his side turret we're gonna kill him. Now we narrowly avoid this T-29. We do also get a critical hit on him, so he's gonna be staying there. Now we can just go straight forward using the rocks as our cover to kind of advance over and test Charlie. Now the FV-405 has shown his turret, and we quickly capitalize on that, shooting him in the side of the turret, knocking his crew out. Now we did this by, well, first shooting him, but this gun has quite lethality. We able to knock out the entire turret crew. And same with this T-29. Now these the weak points for most American heavy tanks around 6.3 up to 6.7 is the lower front plate. It will almost all the time kill the tank if you don't have APDS. With APDS you can just basically go straight through. And same with heat, you can basically go straight through. And also solid shot, because well, solid shot doesn't do much damage, but if you have a PHE, try to go for the lower front plate, and that will often result in a kill. Now we hear engine noises behind us, so we quickly turn around, kill this M47, but we're now faced with a Chinese howitzer. We try to aim for his top of the turret. We do actually manage to get his turret crew, and we're going to quickly advance, but here we see again the big downside of this tank. It is the quite hefty reload time. Now I could also be at fault here. I didn't quite push my advantage, instead trying to wait him out for him to show me his turret. But right here I am quite hesitant to pull out, since I am pretty much 100% sure that he has his gunner back. So now we're going to be quite a big stalemate here unless I can get some help from my teammates. So I'm going to continuously ping the map for any sort of help or any sort of reaction from my team. But unfortunately that actually doesn't happen. So we're just gonna basically play limbo around this big rock over here. Now using a backup, we rush directly straight back to Bravo point, since I think it's the most important capture point to hold. And we do find the PZ again. We're going to line up our shot, and it's gonna go straight through his turret and absolutely obliterating his crew. Now with our binoculars we do catch a glimpse of a M56 Scorpion going around to Alpha. So we're gonna ping the map to let our teammates know of him. Now, after having captured both Bravo and Charlie without any enemy resistance, we are going to pull forward to try to see if we can catch one last kill before this game comes to an end. But unfortunately we do not manage to do so as the game ends. With 9 kills, we take the first place on our team, earning a total of 16,378 research points and 133,087 silver lions. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and stay tuned as there will be more content to come about War Thunder in the near future. Until next time, take care.